Has football really fell off? I mean, remember Ronaldinho, Zidane, all of these footballers, all these skillers, they just had a different feel to them. It just feels like this generation is harder to keep and have this sort of connection with them. I don't know whether it's the quality of players has gone down or it's just us. We're just clouded by nostalgia and we just can't enjoy the now. But I'm just going to uncover really, has football actually fell off? I feel like when we're talking about football and whether it has really fell off, we need to consider how we view it. I feel like these days, us as fans, it's our fault. We kind of view football as something where you need to produce goals and assists to be good. For example, look at Vinicius Jr. If we look at his numbers, he hasn't had the best sort of season in terms of producing goals and assists. But if you look in isolation at his performances, for example, in the Champions League, especially at home, against Bayern Munich, he was absolutely phenomenal. And I feel like we don't really appreciate that. We've kind of been clouded by the fact that a footballer can only be considered good if they're producing numbers. Like if you look back in the day at the likes of Ronaldinho and Zidane, their stats weren't outrageous to say these guys are world class. But it wasn't their stats what made them world class. It was the way they moved around the pitch, had the ball and created. It was just a thing of beauty. Maybe we don't appreciate beauty the way we did with football, and it kind of is our fault for viewing it that way, and we can't really enjoy the sport like we used to. Another way of looking at it is just the way it looked, the fast pace of football back in the day. Because football has slowed down without a shadow of a doubt. The way that managers like to play the game, there's a lot more structure. You've got to definitely put yourselves in position to receive the ball rather than express yourselves. And a lot of people have come out to say, the likes of Fabregas, the ballers of the past, have said you need to allow players to have freedom. And the best way to get the best players is to allow them to express themselves. Even Lionel Messi, he said academies have got worse. Back in his time, when he was at Barcelona, he was given the opportunity to express himself. And that's why we got probably the best player of all time. But then when I look back at the games of the past and you see the quality, even during the Maradona and Pele era, this is not what I remember the football of the past to be like. Maybe we were just so overjoyed with the football that was being played in front of us that we often ignored these sort of passages of play. Look here, the ball is in the air. There's nothing pretty about it. I would actually go to say that the football now, it has less of this. And maybe, it's our fault seeing football as something which it wasn't. Because look at this. This isn't football. This isn't what I remember when I think of, the thousands, the 2000s era. I'm thinking of fast-paced football, players with so much skill and expression. Not this. And I feel like another thing is just as a whole, nostalgia. We as fans look at the game with a lot of, the past clouding our judgment. Look at Virgil van Dijk, for example, probably the best all-round defender ever that the Premier League has ever seen. But we just can't seem to think that way. We just can't. We just want to force ourselves to see the players from back then as being better. John Terry, a fantastic defender, but the shouts that he's better than Van Dijk is quite crazy to me. Even Gary Cahill, I've been seeing shouts that he's probably the best sort of defender we've seen in the Premier League. But is he? If you're looking at raw ability, is he actually better than the players we've got now? I don't know. And I feel like unless we shake off the past, we can't really enjoy football. We can't appreciate the beautiful game for what it is. But yeah, that's it. What's your thoughts? Is it our fault that football has fallen off? Or has it just simply got worse and the players just aren't as good as they used to be?